Hello, BookTube. This is the weekly wrap up. I usually try to do them on Fridays, but things have been a bit busy lately. Um, I've seemed to run into a bout of meetings and those sorts of things. I'm getting ready to do some construction, a new addition to my library. So I've been preparing for a presentation to a select board. I have a board of trustees meetings, meetings with contractors, architects. Um, I also serve on the board of directors for a public access television, and they've got a lot going on for the season, and so impacts the reading time a little bit. But I did get some done. I recently started using NetGalley to try to get an idea for some of the books I buy for the library and for myself. Um, so I finished reading No Time to Spare, Thinking About What Matters by Ursula K. Guin. That was a Houghton Mifflin Harcourt out of Boston, 2017. It hasn't been published yet as far as I know. I think it's October or November. Wonderful, wonderful book. So I'll end up buying that for the library, and I probably will also buy a copy for myself. The essays are very personal. Everything from her cat to children to growing old. Very approachable, and with just enough that older person's grumpiness to make you sort of grin once in a while. So she's a great character, and it's a very good book. And the other one I'm reading, also on NetGalley, but I'm only about halfway through, and I probably would have been blown through it if it hadn't been such a busy week. But it's Chronicles of a Liquid Society, which I love the title. And it's by Umberto Eco, the late Umberto Eco, and it's also Houghton Mifflin Harcourt out of Boston, and coming out in the next month or so. And you would the Le Guin and the Echo book are doing the same type of thing. They're essays, short essays. Le Guin's were for her blog. Echoes, I think, were a newspaper piece he would do. And he's a little more interested in like current trends, like computers and phones and the internet and those sort of things. And his insights are interesting, and I'm really enjoy. I usually do enjoy him. So that one I'm looking forward to finishing. I had been reading this on Honor Harrington. He's been sitting on the sideboard for about a week without being touched. So David Weber's War of Honor, the new Honor Harrington novel. Well, it's not new anymore. And it's a Bean book. Let's see when this thing was published. 2003. So I always like these. And I can put it down for a little while and come back to it and be just fine. I'm also reading with Memento Mori's project there, the Decamorama, Boccaccio's Decameron. And let's see, I'm on the sixth tale, I think, of the third day. Yeah, the third day. So sixth tale. I just pick these up and do a tale every once in a while. They're very funny for the most part, at least thus far. And I'm really enjoying it, and I think it was a great idea to do it. And then, because something always intrudes, I run into a book that I don't expect. And this one, I'm about halfway through. American Philosophy by John Kaag, Kaag. You see, they've got a picture of him here. And let's see who published this. This is a Farrar, Straus and Giroux, New York, 2016. This is an interesting, thus far, very interesting read. And it's happening at a point in the author's life that is very, very messy. He's a very smart fella, but he's in a bit of a mess. And he goes up to New Hampshire, and his interest is in American philosophy, and the pragmatists, William James, that whole school of I think of Dewey, Emerson, Thoreau, those types of guys. So he goes up and he finds a place that was one of these famous philosophers named Hawking, who's almost forgotten, at least in the popular culture. A place called West Wind, and it's a stone, and I mean, the way I'm picturing it, I wish there were pictures in this book. There's not, and I think that's one of the drawbacks. If they could have done that, it would have helped a bit. The family still owns West Wind. The library is abandoned. It's on hundreds of acres in the New Hampshire mountains, and the library is loaded. It's wasting away. But it's loaded with like books with handwritten annotations by William James, by all these famous philosophers. And I don't want to give too much away, but this young man is at a stage in his life where he just doesn't know if it's worth going on. And thus far, he hasn't gotten much past that in what I've read. I've read about that. But what he finds for books, what he finds for connections to these people, stuff from Whitman. I mean, it's just amazing, and it's just sitting out there, and we'll see how it goes. But thus far, a fascinating story. And the other thing I've been doing here was, this is a ritual with me anyway, New York Review of Books. This issue, the one I'm interested in right now, here's an article by Marina Warner, Legends of the Fall, and it's a review of The Rise and Fall of Adam and Eve by Stephen Greenblatt. So I will be reading that. It's going to be a big book. It'll be reviewed everywhere. So we will see with that. And then I've been filling in time with on YouTube. Besides the BookTube videos, I watch Adam Savage Tested. He was the guy that was on Mythbusters years ago, and I'm just always amazed at how creative he is, and I watch him do his one-day builds and that sort of thing. Well, he recently has started a podcast on sci-fi, and it's called Sci-Fi 25 Origin Stories with Adam Savage. And he's interviewing and having discussions with people in the popular science fiction culture world. I've listened to two of these. What attracted to me was his early one with DC. These have just started. Was with DC Fontana, the great scriptwriter for Star Trek, and one of my favorites. And her interview with him was just fascinating if you're into that type of world. And then the second one I listened to, he was talking to Ron Moore. Those of you who like Star Trek The Next Generation, he wrote and was actually, that was like his apprenticeship was on that show. And that's where he broke into script writing and all that. He's also did Caprica and Battlestar Galactica, the newer version. So a very fascinating guy. So both excellent podcasts. And so I'm not really going to add like a TBR. I'll finish up the books I have hopefully in this coming week. Like I say, I got all week of meetings and pre-construction things and all these work-related things. So, but it's all good stuff. So, thank you, BookTube.